Have you had conversations with the writers about how you want to go?
Absolutely, I have. Yeah, yeah. Obviously, I didn't want to die, but I felt like, there was an important place for Ezekiel, just as far as being a guy who tries to think positively.
What?
Oh crap, we're recording immediately.
Oh, I'm brutal, I am, aren't I?
It's so much pressure.
That was where I was going to get you. I wanted you to come on and just slag off Andrew Lincoln. I'd have gone, I've got it.
That guy's the worst.
How you been, man?
I'm good. I'm good.
How did you cope with COVID? Because I saw, obviously, you had that a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, it was so different than I was expecting it to be because, I've how long have we been dealing with COVID? Well, it was like March of 2020, right? So now it was July of 2022. So over 2 years, and I had somehow danced between the raindrops all this time and not gotten COVID, and finally decided to venture back out into the world and it was so funny. My partner Tracy, she looked at me. She said, "Why are you sweating?" Just you know, and I was like, "Oh, I had no idea. That's not true. I had an idea. I just thought I had the sniffles or something." But she was like, "No, you're sweating. You're sweating for no reason. Despite the California heat, we're air conditioned. You should not be sweating this much." And so I had a weird bout with COVID because it was a relatively short amount of time that I tested positive for COVID, but this lingering kind of head cold and stuff just lingered for the longest time, for like weeks. And it was like it says I'm better. Why does my head still hurt? You know? And so I wasn't expecting kind of this lingering, kind of after COVID, situation. So, but I mean, all in all, I guess, I'm lucky, that that's all it was. But I'm a person that even when they are sick, denies being sick. I'm like, I got too much to do. I'm not sick.
You're the complete opposite to me there. If I stub my toe, I'm like, that's it. I'm cool. Have my will. Take it.
See, that's the thing. See, I just turned 50. If I take like 4 days off to like lay in bed, it just the belly just goes. You know what I mean? It's like I got to keep moving, man. I can't do this kind of docile, floating in an aquarium, in an ideal situation. I've got to be a shark. I got to keep swimming, dude. I can't stop moving. And to have to kind of sit there for like 10 to 15 days, and it's like you really got to get over it. You can't tell yourself I'm fine, because every time I did that, it was like I would start laughing and the laugh would turn into a cough. But you know how you always see that comedically done, like but if that happens to you every night, it's no longer funny.
I got it quite close to when you did, and I realised I'm actually a little bit embarrassed that I got it so late to the party. Everyone else got it years ago, and I was like, oh, I've
Right?
actually cringed myself out a little bit being so late to this.
Yeah, I was feeling like kind of a weird, superhero, like Forrest Gump, like just by happenstance, by somehow missing the boat. Whereas he like fell into all of these great, wild and historic situations. I was like, somehow I felt like a superhero dancing through the raindrops, and then yeah, I got slapped with it, and it was like, you're not a superhero. You just play one on TV.
Yeah, I was like, I'd go out and I'd lick lampposts or I'd just brush my face against bus windows. I'd be like, this it, nothing can stop me.
Yeah, I literally thought I was like, I was invincible this way, but life has a way of smacking you down eventually. But like I said, well, you know what? We both are obviously doing better now. So yeah, yeah. So we're lucky. We're lucky.
Before we talk about, like The Walking Dead and Teen Titans, I want to talk about where it all started, with stand-up comedy.
Yeah,
I attempted it, and the less we say about that, the better.
yeah.
Can you alleviate some of my pain and just tell me about the worst time you've ever bombed?
Oh man, I think I was the worst time I've ever bombed. I was 14 or 15 years old, and I had I you know I you when I get on stage, or when I gotten on stage, doing stand up, yeah, I started with things that just worked with my friends and family. You know what I mean? Like, that's where your set kind of starts. And then I'm like, okay, well, that's a good, 5 to 7 minutes, but you got to start expanding on this if you want to have a full show. And so you start peppering in new bits in between the old bits. You know what I mean? Or at least that's what you're supposed to do. But here I am. I'm 15 years old. I'm just kind of trying to figure it out. And so instead of using my old set to and then peppering in a new joke here and seeing if it works, and letting it go, my problem is that I was like, all right, it's time for new shit. I'm trying out new stuff today, you know? And so it was like, 7 minutes of new stuff, all of which worked not at all. You know what I mean? It's one of those lessons I think you learn and I hesitate to call myself a stand-up comic. I dabbled in stand-up comedy for a while, but I never got to the point where I felt like I was a professional comedian. But I did learn some tricks, and one of the tricks is you don't do all new material. You know what I mean? You use the stuff that works, and then you pepper it in there. But boy, that night at Stand Up New York Comedy Store, up on the Upper West Side in New York City, 15 years old, it was 1 o'clock in the morning. I was going up after all of the headliners and stuff, and it was just like, the people who were bored or too drunk to get up out of their seat, and man, I thought I was telling, like, I was, because I was 15, and I was like, I got jokes about James Brown. I had no idea that, because you know what I mean? I was like, James Brown is hilarious to me, because I just learned about just how hilarious James Brown was. And everybody's like, dude, we've been hearing James Brown jokes for like 40 years. Nobody thinks that's funny anymore, except this 15-year-old kid. And I was like, wow, that didn't go anywhere. All right, let me try another one. Oh man, that didn't go anywhere. What about Wile E. Coyote? That was it was just a whole lot of stuff that I was pulling out that wasn't from my own experience. And it was like, yeah, yeah, all of these alcoholics have experienced this and don't want to experience it anymore. It was a very long 7 minutes.
Well, me and my girlfriend, we've just moved house, and we were checking out the town the other day. And, we're like, oh, lovely restaurant. Oh, that looks like a nice bar. And then all of a sudden, like this PTSD hit me. I turned around and I saw a restaurant, and it was the place where I've had the worst stand up gig of my life.
Oh,
It must have been like when I was about 16, 17.
right, right.
But now I live in this town, and that's just constant reminder of like, you're not funny.
Dude, you gotta get back up. You gotta get back up there, because the cool thing is, no, you gotta go back, because that was my worst stand-up moment. I also had one of my best stand-up moments on that stage, because I learned from that moment, and I would sit there and watch these comedians, because what I would do is I go to New York for the summer for like, a month and a half. And so I would sit in the back of the comedy club, and watch these comedians go in and come out, every week, and I would just sit in the back and see them. And one of the things that I learned, that is that everything they did wasn't spontaneous necessarily. I mean, they got to a point where they could be spontaneous, but the really good ones had like this Rolodex of like comebacks for hecklers, for everybody, every size, shape, and this and that. And it was like anything that came at them, they had something filed away. And I started filing away all of these things. And I'll never forget, it was on that same stage that I was sitting in the back watching the audience, and everybody was having a good time except for this one lady who just would not laugh. And even when she laughed, she would kind of frown smile. It would be like,
It sounds like my mum was at that gig.
right, she would just, yeah, that was pretty funny. And man, and when and I got on stage and I went off on her. I just laid into her, and the thing is, she loved it and the audience loved it. But it was one of those things where I was like, I learned over the course of getting up and bombing is that let the audience lead you. Don't or you lead the audience. Let them be a part of it. Don't let them take over, but let them be a part of it. But yeah, but man, you've got all of this experience now, all of this life experience. You met all of these people. You've talked to all of these people, dude. You got to get back up there and be like, I am, and literally stand up, and that should be the beginning of your set. Is be like, I am here to exercise my demons. You I am here because I am not funny. You just let that happen, and next time you walk past that place, you'll be like, you know what? That's where it started. That's where it started, and that's where I got my shit. I want to see you do it, baby. I think it would be awesome.
This might be the best bit of motivational advice, or you might just be an evil bastard and just
I
want to watch me
might.
crash and burn with popcorn.
You know what kills me is that my evil bastardness, comes out of naivete, yes. I mean, every once in a while I've lived long enough that I was like, oh, that sounded wise. Maybe I am learning something after all of these years. But yeah, sometimes it comes back to bite me. But I will I feel like you've got enough life experience and moments in the kitty that you can step back up on that stage, and literally the honesty of being like, this was one of the worst moments of my life. I am Thank you for being a part of this resurrection.
You had a horrible gig, then you got a kingdom and a pet tiger. I'm hoping that now works for me. That's the logical next step.
Obvious, the most logical step you can possibly take, you know is from bombing at New York Comedy Store to tiger owner extraordinaire.
Can I just say that Ezekiel is the man? He is my favorite character on The Walking Dead. As I said, he's got a kingdom, he's got a tiger, he's got the best hair in the game.
I know.
I know he fared well in The Walking Dead. How would you fare? This happened right now. How are you coping?
Oh, I wouldn't have lasted 10 minutes. I wouldn't have lasted 10 minutes. I would have been one of those people who was like, this dude looks like he needs help. Here, I'll stay here with him. I'll hold him and cradle him. What are you doing? I would, you know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. I would. It would take me no time at all to, either that or with COVID and everything, I found myself becoming more of a homebody. That it might just all be going down outside and I'm sleeping.
I would take everything from Ezekiel, though. I would be in London Zoo now with a tiger going, fucking come on, come on.
I've always said a tiger's pretty good, an elephant would be better. An elephant would be better because I've had years to think about this. Like if you couldn't have a tiger, what? And it's like, you know what? I need something I can climb up on top of with thick skin that can just step on and you know what I mean?
Actually, is a good shout.
I'm telling you. I have had time to think about this. I've been asked more than once. I'm telling you, an elephant is the ideal apocalypse animal.
The elephant wouldn't have died. So
This is what I'm screaming. The elephant would have been like, I'm not even getting down in that ravine.
it's sort of stupid.
No, 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 no. Yeah, yeah. You come up here. We're not getting down there.
Oh yeah, admittedly, Ezekiel would have died at that moment in a heartbeat, but the elephant would still be rocking it.
The elephant, and honestly, everyone would have been happier if Shiva lived and Ezekiel. Ezekiel's incredibly cool, but let's not kid ourselves.
I tried getting an interview with Shiva, but then she cancelled on me, so I had to get you. Sorry, man.
She's a diva, dude. She is a diva. Oh my God.
Her management team.
Living off the coast of Costa Rica, just enjoying life, you know. But yeah, yeah, won't talk to anybody. I mean, barely acknowledges my existence, that woman. But what are you gonna do?
Make her get killed off in your show. That will show her.
Exactly. I started making calls.
But I mean, Ezekiel, as I said, he's done well for himself in The Walking Dead. He's got the 10th largest number of kills on the TV show. He's killed at least 39 people.
Oh wow.
Who are you saying is above you? Who do you reckon?
Oh wow. I'm surprised I'm that high. But that's exciting. So now you're talking walkers or you're talking people?
People.
It's hard to say. I would say Michonne is up there.
Number 8.
Number 8. Okay, okay. The only thing that I was thinking that might have kept her a little lower is that she kills everyone in slow motion. So I was like, it might seem like she's killed more, but she's actually doing it. It's just like the hair, the katana. I have absolute katana envy for Michonne. Um, that I mean, I like my sword, but you know, hers is longer than mine.
Maybe it's just colder where you are.
Right? Exactly. I was in the pool. Well, you know what? If Michonne's on there, then Rick's got to be on there as well.
Number 5.
Number 5. You know what? But did you count the time that they made the tightrope and drove down and mowed down like 100 and something walkers? You might have to up the ante on that one.
I have to go through 11 series again now, counting these up. Oh God.
I think because literally that was the most dynamic mass killing of walkers ever. So yeah. So well then Daryl. Then I'm putting Daryl on the list. Where is he at?
He number 4.
Number 4. There we go. So wow, Rick and Daryl are 5 and 4.
Well, someone very close to you is number 3.
Oh, oh my God, Carol.
Carol's number 3. What a woman.
I know, man. What a woman. There needs to be a song called What a Woman.
And it's just about Carol killing people.
Just about Carol. Yes, just about. I mean, what? And you know what? The great thing about Terminus and when she really went off for the first time was the look on her face was always like, oh my God, did I just do that? Oh wow, was that me?
Meanwhile, she's put a bazooka through someone's ear, like, whoops.
Yep, exactly, exactly. She's like the host of a cooking show, and she was like, "Oh my God, souffle! How did it happen?" You know what I mean?
Here's one I murdered earlier.
And here we have it already ready. Yes, yes. We put that in for 35 minutes, but oh, here we have it.
Number 2, you've got Simon.
Yes.
And then number 1. Who are we going for number 1?
Is it? It's not Negan, is it?
It's your boy Negan.
Negan is number 1. Wow, wow. Well, there you go. Makes sense. Makes sense. Man, they shot up to the front of the class. That's amazing.
Yeah, I know. They did their homework, and I rate them for that.
They really did. They were like, they studied for a very specific test. You know what I mean?
So you outlived your comic counterpart. Like, no decapitation for you. Well done. Have you had conversations with the writers about how you want to go? Do you get an input on that?
Absolutely, I have. Yeah, yeah. Obviously, I didn't want to die, but I felt like there was an important place for Ezekiel, just as far as being a guy who tries to think positively, even when shit's getting really, really, tough, he's kind of always kind of pulling himself out of the muck, and of all the people that I've met over the years who really um channeled the show and kind of used it as a mantra. His whole speech of "and yet I smile," and despite the odds, I smile through it, I've heard so many people have been encouraged by that. I just didn't want him to die depressed. You know what I mean? I was like, you can't kill him. Like I just can't take it anymore. I'm just gonna end it all. Yeah, I was like, he can go out in a blaze of glory. He can go out, guns blazing. He can go out fighting for his fellow man. But I was like, I will literally not come to set if you're like, yeah, this is how he's gonna die. Just feeling shitty, and was like, yep, today's the day. I was like, yeah, that's not how Ezekiel's gonna go out. And so I think they understand that wasn't the way he was gonna go. I don't have a whole lot of control, but I feel like at least they understood where I was coming from.
I bet it feels nice though, with all the people that come up to you at like Comic Con and be like, "Unlucky, you're gonna lose your head." Bet it's nice to just go, "Unlucky, unlucky."
Man, literally, there were so many like 13 to like 15-year-old kids who'd be like, "Do you know how you die? I know how you die. Your head's gonna get cut off." And I would just sit there. For a while, I didn't know if I was gonna die or not, and I was like, "Yeah, that might be true." And then there was like several months, before we found out, and I found out, and they'd still come up to me, and oh my God, I just wanted to be like, "Yeah, shut up, kid. You have no idea. I live. I live." I just wanted to, yeah. I just wanted 13-year-old me just wanted to be like, "Fuck you, kid." Absolutely. Every time they came to my table, I was about as juvenile as they could be, but I had to keep it all inside. But I was literally they were getting to me, dude. Yeah, they were getting to me.
I just want you to know, you screaming "fuck you, kid" is going to be my ringtone. Just so that you know that.
Absolutely. Oh my God. My daughter she's gonna be turning 11 in September, and she's just starting junior high school. And I'm just being reminded of how crappy middle school, high school kids are. I was literally just giving her a pep talk because she is very, very much her own person, and she was like somebody was making fun of how I was dressing because I didn't wear this or that or whatever. And I was like, I was just giving her a pep talk about all of these people there that dress the same and literally want to look just like each other, like over the course of the next 10 years. And this is going to take really long, babe. But over the course of the next 10 years, they will slowly start to turn and be like, oh my God, why is she so different? Why is she so cool? I was like, you are going to be everything they aspire to, because you can't, just put on the uniform that everybody else is putting on. And so I was literally giving my daughter the "fuck you, kid" speech, just a couple hours ago, dropping her off at school. It's so funny.
I kind of want you to get them in a headlock and be like, "She was in The Walking Dead. What have you done with your life, kid?"
What the hell have you done in a life? And killed it, by the way. Killed it. I Dude, I literally got her onto that show so because I needed a babysitter. I was like, I was like, I got nobody to watch the kid. You know what? Can can Maya be on the show? Because I got nobody to watch her. The funny thing is that I got her on the show, and then they were like, actually, she needs a chaperone. So I had to literally find someone to watch her anyway. But the cool thing is that she got on the show. My son Carter, he could care less. He was like, "No, I've got YouTube videos to edit. I don't feel like doing that, Dad. You know I could care less." But Maya has always been, very extroverted, and so and she was, doing this featured background character. And I was worried about her because her energy can be very all over the place. And but man, she she worked the way that every like background, actor should work, because not all of them kind of come to work to help move the story forward. A lot of a lot of background guys and ladies will come to set just so that they can get their face on camera so their mom and dad and grandma can see them, and literally, I've literally been standing in a scene and someone been like, and I'm like, what? And they're like, could you just move to the side a little bit, so so I can get in the shot. And I'm like, I'm doing this in this heartfelt moment, and they're like, all right, could you? I want my aunt to see me, you know. But Maya, I was, I kind of obviously I prepped her for what she was doing, and I was like telling her to immerse herself in the story, because they're going to give you places to go and things to do, but you have to make up the story in your mind. And by the time I got to her, like an hour or so later, after we were setting up this big festival scene, I mean, she was like, well, I find my friend over here, and we've known each other for a little while, and da 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 da, and then we see so and so over there, and that's where we go. And I was like, it was like all I could ask for is like she immersed herself in the storytelling. And so I couldn't have been more proud, because literally it started off as just getting a babysitter.
That annoys me because she's already more talented than like as you said with those extras. If that was me, I'd be in the shot like this. I'd be in the camera here.
I have a friend. I have a friend who, when they first started, they were doing background work, and they got in this big movie. I won't say what movie it is, but there was a scene of just a bunch of extras in the back, and in the foreground, they're the main characters who are having a conversation, and the camera's moving like this, and she starts here, and as the camera moves, she just moves along with it. And you don't notice if you don't know her, but I mean, we literally watched the movie to see, to see her, and to see that moment of her, like, and I'm staying in this shot as long as possible. Oh my God, it's too funny, too funny.
So, does your daughter now have your seal of approval to just pursue acting now? Now that we know she's probably in the top 10% of actors worldwide.
You know what? I still want her to. I mean, to pursue. She's going to pursue something creative, but but you know what? The best engineers are creative engineers. So I don't want to put her. And she loves math still, and it's just like, that's her favorite subject, and I won't dissuade her from pursuing acting, obviously, because you can't dissuade your kids from doing what they want to do. But I also don't want to, feel like, she's had this one experience, and that's going to, decide the course of the rest of her life. But yeah. But every once in a while, I look at her and I was like, I'm like, I don't know, man. She's got a thing about her, that it could work. It could work, like gangbusters. It works on me, obviously, because she's my sunshine on a cloudy day. But yeah, I'm trying to be a good papa, and continue to have open wide possibilities for whatever creative outlet, she chooses to pursue, whether it's something more overt like acting, or if she ends up, creating whatever, supplants the internet as the way that we communicate. You know what I mean? It's like creativity, and how you communicate, and involve, the world, happens on many different levels. So far be it from me to think I understand.
Well, I'm going to move swiftly on because it annoys me that she's not only better at acting, but better at maths than me.
I know, it's ridiculous.
Just draw a line under that. I'm a bit furious. Shiva would have never have gloated like this. Apparently, you sent a text to the whole H crowd at Comic-Con saying that good things come to those who wait, which I think is really cool. And it got me intrigued. Obviously, you're talking about the season finale of The Walking Dead. So I know obviously you can't tell me what's going to happen unless you want to.
I don't.
Worth a shot anyway. Moving on. But I did this with your buddy Dan Fogley.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to play a game of two truths and one lie. But as I said, I know you can't tell me anything. So
Oh yeah. No, I enjoy so much not telling anyone anything.
yeah, I can see the evil in your eyes.
Oh my God. Absolutely. Absolutely. I work too hard to tell this story a certain way. So yes, yes, this is my Mr. Burns.
You've got Dr. Evil about you right now.
Yes, absolutely. If I had a, a skinless, hairless cat to,
Just a pile of bones.
yeah, it's just a blip. Oh God.
You don't get more evil than that, killing a cat and then rubbing its corpse.
Exactly. I didn't say it was dead, you know.
No, that's me being the sicko. That's why you're only number 10 on the kill list, sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
You need to kill more cats.
I do. I do.
Anyway, the most normal segue in interviews that there's ever been.
We really went there, didn't we?
So I did this with Dan Fogler. It was two truths, one lie, but I know you can't tell me much. So I'm going to give you the chance to tell me
Right.
3 statements about The Walking Dead's finale,
Hmm.
but they don't have to be 2 truths and 1 lie.
Hmm.
They can all be lies. They can all be truths. They can be 1 truth, 2 truths. I'm just going to let you give me 3 statements, and I'm just going to accept them.
I love it.
So what have you got for me, bud?
Let's see. Number one is fuck you once again. Oh, you know what? That's the essence of this interview. I love that we have come full circle because once again, fuck you, dude. I spent I spent a pandemic, okay, covered in plastic in 98-degree heat and 140% humidity to not come into this studio room to tell you what happens after I have bled. I have literally bled on this set to tell you a beautiful story. We had sets, we have makeup, we have costumes, and you just want me to blurt it out. Fuck you. Fuck you.
I I hope every interview I do from now on ends in a fuck. If I'm with Meryl Streep, I hope I get a fuck you from her. You've set the bar here now.
You know, it's so funny. I consider myself a very nice guy, I just this is where I am today, man. This is where I am.
Imagine me going back to your manager afterwards and goes, "Oh, how was the interview?" I'm like, "Yeah, he told me he said fuck you 12 times."
Well, yeah, at least, they weren't all to you.
Oh no, some of them were to children. You're right.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Most of them were to children.
Oh, it's so funny. Well, note to self: do not try that game with Norman Reedus. No. Mate, I've been watching The Walking Dead for a long time. I know everyone's been watching it for a long time. We're on the 11th season now. So I imagine it had one hell of a rap party. I want to know what goes down at a Walking Dead rap party. Who's doing karaoke? Who's throwing up in a bin outside?
Oh, you know what? We still haven't really had a rap party because because we were finishing up at the end of COVID, so you really couldn't quite cut loose. You know, we've had some great rap parties, and literally it was karaoke over here, it was dancing over here, it was I, I remember there was this one little background guy. He was Carl's background. I mean, not background.
Stunt double?
Not stunt double, just stand in. But he was older, but he was little, because he was standing in for Carl, and but he was just I don't even know if he was 21 yet. I hope he was, but it seemed like it was his first party, because that dude. I mean, we had to drag that poor guy back to put him in a car and get him home. I'm not sure if I'm remembering this correctly, but I'm pretty sure he was still living at home, and I think he got grounded. I think he got grounded for, for coming home, drunk and passed out. It's hilarious. Yeah, ridiculous. Yeah, yeah. That was oh my God. I haven't thought of that in a while. I just remember I was like, "Hey, that's so is he gonna be okay? It's just we're just gonna drag him out of here? All right."
My little heart. Oh, bless him.
I know, I know. It was like Carl died before Carl died. You know what I mean?
That gave Robert the inspiration to then write that in.
Exactly. They want, literally, his shoes like dragging behind him as two of his friends are just like, oh man, can't believe we got to do this.
Who needs dreadlocks? Who needs a tiger when you get to play a guy with superhuman strength and has like lasers coming out of his hands? I'm talking about Cyborg.
Yeah,
You voiced him in a whopping 32 different projects now. Do you ever get the call from your agent being like, you're playing him again? And you're like, oh, for fuck's sake, not again.
no, never. Nope. Cyborg was my first voiceover audition in Los Angeles. I got uh, a friend of mine who was writing on the show. He had been like an assistant and a writer on cartoons for a couple of years before I moved to town. And he was always, you should get into voiceover. And I would ask people, and there's no there's no way of getting into voiceover without somebody getting you into voiceover. And one day he called me up and he said, "Hey, you know what? I'm doing this show, and I think there's this character who you'd be perfect for." And so he got me the audition, and I waited for months, and he called me and said, "Khary, I think you might get it." He's like, I don't. He was like, there's people are talking about you, and I was and I was like, that's my friend, that's my friend. David Slack, who's gone on to be a showrunner on TV series, and he started on after Teen Titans, he did Law and Order, he did Person of Interest, and MacGyver, and he done all of these things. So many projects that he's working on. But I'd known him since the first day of college, and if he hadn't gotten me that audition, I'd still be wondering how to break into voiceover. But he was right. It's like Cyborg. It was like Cyborg is just me excited to get a job. I literally I was so over the moon. I had never done a job that gave me such freedom. You do live action, and they can give you a tiger and they give you dreadlocks and everything. You're still relegated to the body that you're inhabiting. You've got on some level to look like that character. And I'd never done anything where it was like it doesn't matter what you look like, if you can find a voice and get your brain around embodying whatever that thing looks like. And so I was 28, 29 years old, and I was playing a 15-year-old half robot, whatever. And I just lost my mind. And I walked out of there thinking, well, that was amazing, man. I just hope they let me audition again. And yeah, and it's been 20 years. Been 20 years and over what over 400 episodes of TV, but I can't get tired of him because he is my exuberant self. You know what I mean? That's so it's I just we just recorded episodes of Teen Titans Go yesterday, and immediately it's like if there's weight on my shoulders, it gets lifted. I mean, immediately just putting on that character, and the people that I've worked with for so many years, it feels like the opposite of work, except for the fact that I am exhausted at the end because you don't put out more energy than Cyborg. Maybe Rafiki. Rafiki, but yeah, I played Rafiki for a few years on the like Disney Junior and stuff like that. And that character, the way his voice goes up and it's so big and so small, it does everything. And oh my, it's so dynamic. After 15 minutes of Rafiki, I'm toast. You know, but yeah, but Cyborg does not feel like work, and I don't think he ever will.
Did you ever have like any terrible voices in your mind for Cyborg when you was like going through like planning it? Was you ever gonna try a robot voice or?
Oh no, no, no. That's funny because literally I it was funny. I didn't think of myself as a person with a bunch of voices. When I auditioned for Cyborg, I was just going in there and doing me, and if they didn't like that, then I was screwed. Because you know because even if you go back and look at like the first season of Teen Titans, the old Teen Titans show, they had me do like side characters here and there, and they were awful. The voices were awful. I was like, they were just barely not Cyborg, and I kind of began to cultivate, by watching all of these other uh voice actors around me and seeing them, play with voices. I learned a lot from Phil Lamar when I was doing Young Justice. Um, he was really good at changing his voice in tiny little ways that made it turn into an entirely different character, and without feeling like you had to put on an entire different accent, or you had to make it an entirely different quality, in your throat or something like that. It was like it was slowing it down a little bit. It was speeding it up a little bit. It's just thinking more, thinking in a different way, change the timbre of your voice. And I learned so much from him. I remember a lot of anxiety being released, getting getting that lesson from Phil. But yeah, when I was Cyborg, and when I was auditioning, yeah, all I had was me. And thankfully that was enough.
Explains why you got the gig. Because me saying hello, come over here, Beast Boy, let's go on an adventure, it just doesn't sound right.
I want to see it now. I want to see it. I need a redub.
Get out of here, Robin, you little scamp. Bugger off. It works.
Yes, absolutely. I want him to shake his fist.
He's not so cool. He's just a bit cranky.
I like it. I like it. We had an older Cyborg for a while, and he was, but he wasn't as cranky as the cranky one. I feel like was either Raven or Robin. But yeah. But now I want to shake a stick at kids driving too fast.
If I see that in a Go to the Movie sequel, I better get some big bucks for this. If I see you,
Oh,
I want a producer role at least.
oh, you know what? You can absolutely be sure you won't get a goddamn cent. I was.
You know what? I'm saying it back to you. Fuck you.
That's right. Bring it on, baby. I'm listen. There's you know what? There will be a lot of things that happen, but you know what? It seems like getting money out of these big production companies ain't so easy as it looks, my friend. And I have been taking a pickaxe to that stone, and continuing, but yeah. If you see it, I want you to feel good about your contribution because that's all you're getting. Oh man, shake a stick at it. Shake a stick back at it. God damn you, Peyton. God damn you.
I'll make my own venture then. I will make my own movie because you voiced so many iconic DC characters. Like it's not just Cyborg. You've done Killer Croc, Doomsday, Black Matt, like loads of characters. Who, if DC come to you and say you can play one in live action, who are you picking?
Cyborg.
It's got to be in it.
He's going to be an older Cyborg, but Cyborg. It's just he's I I feel so lucky, man. When I was a kid growing up, you know, I read Cyborg, and in the comics, and I remember seeing him even on Super Friends, and uh, and then to audition and get that part, and after 20 years, there's so much of me in the character that that if it wasn't for the first Teen Titans show, and subsequently Teen Titans Go and everything, they I don't think that that Cyborg ever would have graduated to being a part of the Justice League and being in these movies and all of this stuff. I feel like a I feel like a proud papa, like 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 you help give birth to this thing, and and maybe I'm more like an uncle because I didn't I wasn't the beginning, but I helped foster him. I helped bring him up, and and add it to his character, and to see him in so many iterations is it's really satisfying. Really satisfying. Yeah. Now if it was Marvel, then Miles Morales. Then I would want to be Miles Morales. Yeah. Then Miles Morales. Yeah, yeah. But it would because Spider-Man was always my favorite growing up. And I love so much the the whole sentiment of, because when I was growing up, I got into a couple of arguments and fights with kids about what superhero you could be, because I was black, I couldn't be Superman or Batman, because it was, you could still see his face and he's white and stuff. And I remember arguing with somebody that I could be Spider-Man because you don't know what he is under that mask, and and it's so cool that literally Miles Morales, he's the embodiment of anybody can wear it. That's the thing. Anybody can wear the mask, and so I've always, I mean, always, because he was a skinny little nerd, because that was me growing up. Skinny little nerd who, when they got on stage, boom, came to life. And I feel like Spider-Man, just a nerdy little dude, doing his own thing, and gets bitten by a spider, and boom, you know, comes to life. So yeah, Cyborg, Spider-Man.
This is now a verbal contract for when I write these two movies. You now have to be in them. That's annoying for you, but
I'll take it.
don't shrug it off. I'm a horrible writer. These are going to be awful movies.
Oh, you know what? At this point, I don't care.
You're Walking Dead rich now. You don't need this.
All I need is because at this point you're going to have to write, like, a 50-year-old, Miles Morales and Cyborg. So right there, that you're already, screwing the story up, horribly. So I'll take whatever I can get.
Unfortunately, you might be wiped out in the first scene.
I only need one scene. That's all I need. You know what I mean? Absolutely. It's Deadpool 2 all over again. The entire, yeah, the entire crew just yeah, one plane ride and boom, done.
I'll leave the writing to Robert Kirkman because that dude
Woo!
just makes gold, doesn't he?
Doesn't he?
I also want to talk about Invincible because obviously you've done that now. You've done The Walking Dead. At this point, if he just sent you a script and it said written by Robert Kirkman, would you just go, I don't need to read it, I'm doing it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. He's just this big old teddy bear of a man that you would never know is just, it's genius floating around in that brain, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. We're shooting or recording Invincible right now, and he's just so very down to earth, and not and there's just nothing put upon about the guy. And every once in a while I just look at him, I was like, this is he's a genius. He's a genius. But and talk to a guy who just doesn't come off that way at all. It's a pretty cool thing. It's pretty cool.
Did you just say he doesn't look like a genius at all?
He just, no. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He doesn't look like a genius. I get, he doesn't have that Einstein quality about him. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe if he grew his hair out a little more and it started to get crazy.
Brought the beard up here.
Absolutely, absolutely. You have to. There's, he's too ambulatory. Because he's not. He doesn't have that Stephen Hawking wheelchair thing, and he doesn't have the crazy hair. He just looks like a dude that you met on a hike somewhere. You know what I mean?
You have such a way with words.
Maybe that's just because I watch a lot of I watch a lot of survival television shows. Like, well, actually not a lot of them. I watch Alone. I watch the one where they put somebody in the middle of nowhere. So that's where I put pretty much anybody. But I feel like I could see Robert Kirkman, me, a caribou, Robert Kirkman in the middle of that's where I'd be like, yeah, you look like you're supposed to be out here in the woods.
Honestly, you have such a way with words. What I'd love to see what you write in Valentine's Day cards, but it's poetry.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Let me ask. Yeah, I'll ask Tracy. How the last Valentine came out. She was like, it was about Kirkman and Caribou. I didn't understand it.
I think it was a metaphor for our first date.
Right.
I have tragically been rewatching the first series of Invincible like on repeat. I'm obsessed with it. I've got an Omni-Man shaped hole in my heart. When do you know when we can roughly expect to see season two? Like, how far deep into it are you with recording?
Man, I mean, we finished season two. We're on to season three, but it's so hard to say right now. There was a glut of animation studios just trying to get so much done, and literally it was like projects sitting there with a backpack full of material, being like, you know, anytime you're ready, you know what I mean. But there was literally a line for like the really great studios, animation studios to just get this work out. So I honestly can't tell you. I am dying I'm so glad that they greenlit two and three at the same time, because that means that when three comes out, it'll feel like just next season and not like a lifetime. But yeah, it's gonna take a while. I wish I could say otherwise, but I've done enough animation to know that man, to get it right, you gotta you're drawing every panel, you know.
I want to talk about the cast because obviously it's got a big old Walking Dead reunion party. I mean, Lauren, Ross, Sonequa, Lenny, Chad, obviously Stephen have all been in it. Is there an Invincible and Walking Dead WhatsApp group that just has you guys in, but people like Norman and Andrew just not allowed in?
No, it's so funny because you know what? Actually, I was just about to text because we have a fantasy football group that we played in, and I'm the commissioner, but it's just been too crazy. I haven't been able to. That doesn't mean anything. That means I sent out an email.
Ooh,
I sent out an email and was like, "Who wants to play?"
he's a king on TV, a king on football. We get it.
Exactly. Yes, yes. I'm all about the monikers, man. But But yeah, I was just actually just about to apologize to everybody because I was like, I couldn't get my shit together and send out an email, so it's not happening. So I'm just gonna, yeah, I just keep it alive and just talk shit. But yeah, and honestly, when it comes to friendship, the shit talking is everything.
We've told each other to fuck off several times. Now I think I want you at my wedding one day.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, I'll be officiating. Absolutely.
For free?
I only officiate for free.
Oh, thank God for that. I am very broke.
I love it. I love it. We've gotten literally nothing monetarily out of each other this as much as we've tried.
Fingers crossed, this interview is going to blow up and my YouTube views are just going to go through the roof and all that money's coming to me. You're not going to see a single penny of that and all you've done is just give me great stories.
Exactly. Well, just fuck you kids on a loop, right?
Khary saying, fuck you kids for 10 hours straight.
I know. Oh God, Cyborg, what have you done?
Finally, I know you must have said booyah 1,001 times as Cyborg. I'm not going to ask you to do it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Why not?
Oh, well, in which case, if you're giving them out willy nilly, can I ask how Rafiki would say it?
He would say, "Booyah." He would, depends on the day, Sometimes he would like be booyah, and then he would get very close to you and be like, booyah, booyah.
If I was Simba and I was like, oh, my dad's just died, if Rafiki said that to me, I'd be like, actually, it's pretty all right, to be fair.
Exactly. It's okay. He just went in the sky. You can see him at any time.
Next interview, I want someone to say fuck you to me, and I want them to just do a Rafiki. It will have no context to them as a person at all. But you've set a precedent for me now, bud.
I'm glad. I'm glad to set the bar, man.
Dude, thank you so much for that. Best of luck with Walking Dead, with Invincible, with everything. I've really enjoyed this, mate. Thank you so much.
Man, I've had a good time. Thank you for having me.
Oh, I miss you already. I'll see you at the wedding.
Absolutely, man. Let me know. Can't wait to meet the lucky girl. Or dude or non-binary. I don't know how it's working these days, but you know what I mean? I am open. I am open to whatever you got throwing down. I am here for you.
Well, if my girlfriend dumps me, that whole message is relevant. And believe me, she might do. Who knows?
All right. Well, try to hold on to her. I feel like yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. If she's dealt with you, you know, up until this point, I feel like, you ride with her, man.
You spoke to me for what, half an hour, and you already said fuck you many times. I've been with her for years. Imagine how many times she said fuck you, Daniel.
Yeah, yeah, not even out loud, just in her own mind.
Sometimes she just writes it on the wall, just in blood. It's terrifying.
Oh my God, this poor girl.
A lot of people have said that as well.
Yes.
Save that for the wedding.
Awesome, awesome. Well, give her my love, and I look forward to the day. It's going to be awesome.